Hey everybody, welcome back to Table Talks on the Clarion. 1 Kings 18:41 through 45 says this, And Elijah said unto Ahab, Get thee up, eat and drink, for there is a sound of abundance of rain. So Ahab went up to eat and drink. And Elijah went up to Mount Carmel, and he cast himself down upon the earth, and put his face between his knees, and said to his servant, Go up now, look toward the sea. And he went up and looked, and said, There is nothing. And he said, Go again 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time that he said, Behold, there ariseth a little cloud out of the sea, like a man's hand. And he said, Go up, say unto Ahab, Prepare thy chariot, and get thee down, that the rain stop thee not. And it came to pass in the meanwhile, that the heaven was black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain. And Ahab rode and went to Jezreel. Here we have the problem immediately facing the prophet Elijah following the great victory on Mount Carmel. It had not rained in Israel for 3.5 years, and there was a terrible drought throughout the land. This was brought about because the sins of the people, and God was going to use it to draw them back to himself. And so God promised Elijah that he would send rain. But yet the circumstances appeared highly unlikely for this to happen. Although the victory was great over the prophets of Baal, there was still not a cloud in the sky. But we see the prophet going back to the place of victory at the top of Mount Carmel. We see that many times when seeking the Lord, it pays to go back to the place of previous victory and remind yourself what God has already done. Much like David did when Saul questioned his ability to defeat Goliath. He said, Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them. And so Elijah climbs back up to the top of Mount Carmel. And there, with the promise of rain in his heart, he cast himself down upon the earth before God. But Elijah recognized that just because you have a promise, just because you kneel down to pray, doesn't mean that the devil will not bring up before you the impossibility of your current situation. He no doubt was reminding Elijah that it hadn't rained in 3.5 years, that even now there wasn't a cloud in the sky, that even now he had told the king there would be rain, only to risk being made a fool of when nothing happened. But none of these doubts and fears mattered to Elijah. He simply put his face down between his knees so that he no longer was looking upon the circumstances, but he looked inwardly to his faith in God. Elijah was here giving us a formula when dealing with seemingly impossible circumstances. It pays to put your head down between your spiritual knees and stop looking at what's going on around you, but inwardly to the promise that God has made to you. But Elijah went one step further. He sent his servant 7 times to view the sky. He prayed until he had received the promise. If he would have stopped after the first 6 times, he never would have gotten the answer. But Elijah sent his servant again and again until his promise became his reality. And his servant returned with this report: I see a little cloud like a man's hand. Elijah knew his answer had come. And although it appeared small at first, it grew till the heavens were black with rain. So how about us today? Do we have a promise God has made us, but we've never climbed back up to the top of Mount Carmel to remember what he's already done? And once we are there, do we spend our time looking at the circumstances and the impossibilities because there's no cloud in the sky? Do we, like Elijah, place our heads between our knees and look only at the promise that God has made? Have we prayed till we see our cloud the size of a man's hand? Abundance of blessings are waiting for those who do. Be blessed.